Hi, fourth graders. We are on Module 7, Lesson 1 today, our first lesson of this module, and we will be converting length and weight units. So when you have your table of contents finished, I'll have you flip to our notes today, and you can see our objective says, I can create and use conversion tables for units of weight and length to solve problems. I know when I see the word convert, it means to change, and so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start here with going from pounds to ounces. So if I were to have 1 pound, it is equal to 16 ounces. Now I've put the rule here for you that when I switch from 1 pound to ounces, I multiply by 16. So that means if I have 2 pounds and I multiply by 16, I get to 32 ounces. When I get to 3 pounds times 16, that gives me 48 ounces. Now you'll notice, fourth graders, that every time I'm multiplying by 16. Now I might know in my head 4 times 16 is 64. But if I don't, I'm going to take the time to actually multiply. So let's look at, well, what do I do with 5 times 16? I'm not sure. So I'm going to write 16 times 5, and I'm going to actually multiply and figure it out. 5 times 6 is 30, so I'm going to put a 0 and regroup my 3. And then I know 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3, and that gives me 8. So that equals 80 ounces. So as we're working, we're going to have to be reviewing our multiplication skills. In 6 pounds, we have 96 ounces. In 7 pounds, we have 112 ounces. 8 pounds is 128 ounces. Let's try looking again. Let's do 16 times 9 because, ooh, this one could be tricky. So I'm going to try and show my work. So 9 times 6 is 54. So I'll write my 4 and regroup my 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So 9 pounds is equal to 144 ounces. And when I get to 10, remember I can multiply by 10 with my 0 trick, so I get to keep 16 and stick on my 0 for 160. So that's pounds to ounces, but we're also looking at length. And we're going to see today, we're going to be using yards, feet, and inches over here. So if I have 1 yard, inside 1 yard there are 3 feet. So my rule for yards to feet is multiplying by 3. This one's going to be a little bit simpler because we know our multiples of 3, we can skip count by 3. So in 2 yards there are 6 feet. 3 yards there are 9 feet. 4 yards there are 12 feet. 5 yards equals 15 feet. Notice I'm just skip counting. 6 yards there are 18 feet. 7 is 21 feet. 8, 24 feet. 9, 27 feet. And oh, there's my 10 again, 30. Now we're using this to help. That doesn't mean that we're only going to deal with yards from 1 to 10. We need to figure out how many feet are in 13 yards. I know, though, my rule is going to be multiplying by 3. So let's check out our last table, and this one is taking us from feet to inches. Inside 1 foot, I have 12 inches. So you can think about your ruler. Your ruler has 12 inches, so that means it's equal to a foot. And since I'm going from feet to inches, I'm multiplying by 12. Again, we know our 12s tables, so we can get skip counting by 12. So 2 feet equals 24 inches. 3 feet equals 36 inches. 4 feet equals 48 inches. 5 feet equals 60. 6 feet equals 72 inches. 7 feet equals 84 inches. 8 feet equals 96 inches. 9 feet 108 inches. And 10, 120 inches. We've got those multiples because we've been practicing those all year long. But now we're going to take that information and we're going to use it to help us do some conversion questions. And so I've got several questions here where we're going to have to do some multiplying and do some math. So this says, how many ounces are in 15 pounds? So I know I'm starting with 15 pounds and going from pounds to ounces means I'm going to multiply. And there are 16 ounces in a pound, so I would multiply by 16. So, here's that double-digit multiplication. It's been a minute since we've done this, 4th graders. So I'm going to start with this. 6 times 5 is 30. So I'll write my 0. I'll regroup my 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus my 3 is 9. I'll cross off this regrouped 3. Here comes the part sometimes we forget. I have to have a placeholder 0 in my ones. Remember, I'm moving over to the tens. So now 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. Now I can add up these partial products. In my ones place I have a 0. In my tens place, 9 plus 5 is 14, and 2 in my hundreds place. So I have 240 ounces. Don't forget your label. All right, my next one says convert 12 pounds 10 ounces into ounces. Notice this one's a little bit trickier. But I have to get it into ounces. I have some ounces already, but I've got to change this 12 pounds. So again, I have 12 pounds to start. I know in every pound there are 16 ounces, so I'm going to multiply by 16. So 6 times 2 is 12, and then I'll regroup this one. 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 1 regrouped is 7. I'm going to cross that out. Here comes that placeholder 0. Now I moved over to the 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1, and now I can add up those partial products. 2 in my ones place. 7 plus 2 is 9, and 1. So far I have 192 ounces that came into this 12 pounds. But I can't forget, I also need to add on that 10. So I had 192 ounces. I had 10 more ounces that I'm going to add on. And so now I have 202 ounces. Okay, so that was a multi-step. Let's look at the next one. I see it says feet. How many feet are in 37 yards? So I'm switching gears. I'm not in pounds and ounces anymore. I want to know how many feet I have in 37 yards. So I'm going to start with what I know. I have 37 yards. And when I'm going from yards and feet, I know there are 3 feet in every yard. So I'm going to multiply by 3. So let's multiply together. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So I have 111 feet. All right, let's look at the next one. Convert 13 yards, 2 feet, into feet. Well, I need feet as my final answer. I have some already that I'll have to stick on at the end, but I've got to get rid of this 13 yards. So I'm going to start and say I had 13 yards. And if I'm switching from yards to feet, I know there are 3 feet in every yard, so I'll multiply. All right, 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. So inside 13 yards, there are 39 feet. But I can't forget over here those 2 extra feet. And so I'll say 39 feet plus 2 feet, and that equals 41 feet. All right, you're doing great, 4th graders. Let's keep going. How many feet are in 10 yards? I love when we can multiply by 10. So when I'm thinking about how many feet there are, I know there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And because I'm multiplying by 10 yards, this makes it so lovely. I just get to stick on my 0, and I have 30 feet inside my 10 yards. Okay, we're going to keep on going. How many inches are in 16 feet? Now I'm switching from inches and looking at feet. So I have 16 feet to start. And I remember from my table, when I look at feet to inches, there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So I'm going to multiply by 12 because in every foot there are 12 inches. So 2 times 6 is 12. I'll regroup my 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus my regrouped 1 is 3. Cross that out. Now I move over, so I need a placeholder 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. I can add up my partial products, and I'm going to write it over here. I get 2 and a 9 and a 1. So I know that in my 16 feet, I have 192 inches. We're doing awesome. We've got 2 more to go. Now it says convert 6 feet 8 inches to inches. Okay, so I have to end in inches, but I've got to change these feet first. So if I have 6 feet, and in every foot there are 12 inches, so I'm going to do 12 times 6. That's a basic fact you should already know. And it equals 72. So I have 72 inches in those 12 feet. But don't forget, I have 8 inches to add on as well. So I'll add 8 inches, and I have a total of 80 inches. All right, we've got one last conversion to do, and I kind of threw you a curveball. Let's read it together. How many inches are in 4 yards? Well, wait a minute. Before I went from yards to feet, and then I practiced going from feet to inches. Notice I'm going from yards all the way to inches, so I've got to do some extra converting. So first I want to figure out, if I have 4 yards, how many feet will that be? Well, inside every yard is 3 feet. So I'm going to multiply and say 4 times 3 is 12. So now I have 12 feet. But am I done yet? No. I want to get over here to inches. So if I have 12 feet to start, and I know inside every foot there are 12 inches, I'm going to multiply 12 times 12 to give me that basic fact you should already know, 144, inches. So 4th graders, you have to use those rules of converting and what you're multiplying by to know how to use your multiplication. You're going to have to come back to those double-digit multiplication problems that we learned long ago. Nice job.